Recently, I was talking to a young Syrian Christian who is living away from his country because of the situation, political, and we were talking about democratization of the Arab world in general. And he gave the interesting opinion. He doesn't think that Arab people really deserve democracy, because if the option of power to the people would be given for them, the result would be even bigger rise of religious, separatistic, blah 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 movements. I mean, in this, what do you think about?
I think it's probably it's an emotional impression, much more than an objective opinion. You see, because I believe you cannot say that democracy, some people do not deserve democracy, because when you're talking about democracy, you're talking about basic human rights. I mean, it is not something that you cannot dismiss. You see, so the interpretation of this sentence is that the Arab people do not deserve human rights. Dictatorship is giving much more space to the fanatics than democracy. You see? Because when you close everything, the fanatics will become stronger. Because nobody could discuss with them, because everything is closed. You see, but when you make democracy, then the fanatics would be weaker, because people are going to express themselves and everything. To
be more aware in the real democracy.
Yes, first. Second, as far as you can defend the democratic rule, you see, if the people will elect Islamic people, and it's better because you have two choices. Either you have the real democracy, and even if the people are going to choose the Islamic people for one period, you see, and then this is going to push, like in Turkey, for example, this is going to push the Islamic people to be moderated more and to be included in democracy, and they will lose after this, or gain, you see. Or you close everything, then you push the Islamic people to be fanatics.
Like now?
Like now.
Yes.
I'm telling you that the Arab dictators are almost the main reason why the fanatic movement is spreading all over the Arab world, you see, because everything is closed. So you don't have any other choice, you see.
So the middle way between dictatorship on one hand and some kind of, on my opinion at least, American hegemony on another, what's the middle way?
Yes, I mean, you're talking about the American invasion. I cannot take the American invasion and the speech and what's Mr. George Bush saying about the establishment of democracy in the Arab world. I cannot take it as seriously at all. Sometimes it's so funny that I laugh when I see George Bush saying this nonsense, because the U.S. foreign policy was the reason of the main support of most of the Arab dictators and the dictators of Latin America, you see. And the America foreign policy does not want to make democracy in the Arab world, because this is against their interests, see. Because if you are, for example, if they are presenting the multinational corporation, if you are a multinational corporation, what would be, and you have a market in the Arab world, what would be better for you, to deal with one single dictator you can control, or to deal with elected people in the parliament and elected government with very respectful people who would say to you, as a multinational corporation, who would say to you once yes and 4 times no. When it comes to any harm of the interest of the multinational corporations, they don't allow anything.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, what's the middle way? Because it seems
the middle way,
especially
is,
in Arab world.
Yeah, the middle way is democracy. I believe that democracy is the middle way, because it enables everybody to express himself on fair basis. And even if you have the Islamic people, and which are not, the Islamic people are not necessarily fanatics. You see, there are fanatics Islamic, but there are Islamic who are not fanatics. You see, so if these people are going to be elected, well, I take them as any left-wing, right-wing Christian democratic party in the West. Sometimes you have the perspective of the Western media is very little. You see, it's very little. So
yeah, and it's pointed probably to a certain point, which is good for the moment.
Yes,
probably.
So they do, and this is affect the credibility of the Western press. You see, because when you have people, for example, making manifestations in the street in Egypt, and they have been, this happened many times. Women have been arrested and they have been tortured, and some of them sexually harassed by the police. You see, nobody talks about this. You see, nobody talks about this. You must be a gay to be defended in the. You see, because I believe I have my own explanation for this. Because the gay point is a very safe, non-political issue. The international press is very affected by the American media, and the American media is very affected by the vision of the American foreign policy, you see. So they concentrate on the violation of human rights in the countries that they consider as enemies, like China. What's happening in China, for example. What's happening in China, for example, happened in many Arab countries. And to cure the symptoms, you must cure the disease. And as I said yesterday, I believe that this rule is only for not for human body, but for human societies. And I believe that the disease in the Arab world is dictatorship. And the symptoms are injustice, desperation, corruption, poverty, fanatism, and terrorism. So there is no way you can cure terrorism without curing the disease.